Hey everyone, Ben from Living Survival. Now a couple days ago I went on a solo overnight camp in the Huron Forest, and I wanted to show you guys what I took along. Now I didn't film a whole lot of the trip just because it was a personal vacation for me and a chance for me to test out some new gear, but I wanted to show you some of the gear that I brought along, and I'll roll in some of the footage as well. Let's start with what I had on me. Now this is my EDC, this is what I carry with me every day, and when I go hiking, backpacking, or camping in the woods, it's no exception. So what you see in this video is exactly what I had on me and what I hiked in with to the campsite. Now it was a primitive campsite, so no water, no toilets, so I had to hike everything in, and everything was either on me or in the pack. So I had my cell phone, of course, but there was no signal, so pretty useless other than the GPS did work, so I could pull up a map or something like that, which was nice. My wallet, which inside has a small little knife and a pen, had that with me. My keys, of course. After I locked my car, I basically just zipped this into my pack and had that along with me. It has a small Swiss Army knife on it and has a small flashlight, chapstick, a lighter, a small flashlight that I use in my pocket, and then a Swiss Army knife. This is the farmer model. It has a little saw on it, of course a main blade, couple screwdrivers and things like that. My Suunto watch tells the temperature, also has a compass, although it's not very reliable, and then my firearm. So this was either in my pockets or on my hip the entire time I was out on the trip. So let's move on to the clothing that I was wearing. Now I knew I was going to be hiking for a little bit before I got to camp. The snow was only about a foot deep, so wasn't too bad, and I was walking on packed trails. So I did want to dress light, and then when I got to camp I could layer up. So what I had on me for the top was just an Under Armour athletic shirt. It's, you know, it wicks away the sweat really well. It's short sleeve, so if I did get really hot I could go just down to the short sleeve. Now the temperatures were about 20 to 25 during the day, and it got down to about just under 20 at night. So I hiked in with just this shirt on, some ex officio boxers that, again, they don't chafe or anything like that. I have no cotton in the setup. I didn't want anything to, you know, either hold moisture or irritate me when I hike, so ex officio boxers. And then I just had these North Face pants underneath. I'm not sure what they're called. You guys have seen these plenty of times. I have several pairs of these, and I wear them in a lot of my videos, but they're basically just hiking pants. They're very lightweight. They zip off at the knees in case I got really hot, but they worked really well. I didn't have any long underwear on or anything like that, so that was the bottom layer. And then over the workout shirt there, I had just this North Face fleece. It's polyester, so it's pretty heavyweight actually, so I could hike in just this and the pants and be pretty comfortable. That worked out well. And then I had these North Face, they're basically just snow pants on over these pants. I wanted something that was going to protect me from the water. If I had to kneel down, for example, the knees would get really wet in these. So I had the North Face pants on. I could take these off if I got too hot and then just wear these. I had this Sabra Gear belt, very lightweight belt, allows me to, you know, carry a knife at my side, keep my pants up, things like that. Then I did have this Snug Pack SJ3. Again, you guys have seen me wear this a bunch in my videos. Didn't need it. I was really warm, so this stayed in my pack. It is highly packable, so I could pack it down and stuff it right in my pack. So snow pants underneath that, the hiking pants, boxers, and then up top just a athletic shirt and the North Face pullover. Then if I got cold or stopped for, you know, to eat or something like that, I could throw this on, or I could shed this layer and just wear this. So a lot of different configuration options that I could use with that, depending on how warm I get. Of course, everyone knows in survival, if you get cold or if you get hot, you start sweating, and that sweat turns to cold very, very quickly. So it's nice to have very sheddable layers that you can put on or take off as the temperature changes or your body temperature changes. As for footwear, I just wore my Rocky boots. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a review on winter boots. I have a pair that I've had for about 10-15 years. They're my hunting boots. They're very warm. I can wear them when I hike, and I can wear them at camp, and I just vary the thickness of the socks that I use. So for socks, for the hike, I just use these very thin Wigwam socks. I'm a very big fan of Wigwam socks. So just a very light pair. Didn't want my feet to sweat or anything like that. As far as head and hand protection, I just had this wool hat and these fingerless wool gloves. Now, you guys keep asking me where I got these from. These were made by a subscriber and friend for me. So they're handmade and they work good. Keeps me nice and warm. And obviously I could shed this if I got too hot. And these are great for maintaining your dexterity. My hands are pretty adapted to the cold, so it doesn't bother me not to have fingers. I don't need mitts or anything like that. So this is the pack that I took. This is the Granite Gear Nimbus Trace Access. It's a 60-liter pack. It's a very lightweight pack to begin with, and it has, as you can see, a lot of different options for adding gear, which is great in a pack. Total pack weight was 33 pounds. The only thing that I don't have in here that I had for my trip was a couple extra snacks, some beef jerky in the top lid, and an additional water bottle. And so my pack weight right now, I just weighed it, is just under 32 pounds. So 33 pounds is a great weight. It was no problem to carry. And you don't want to go much over that when you're hiking in the wintertime. On the back, it has a maple core frame sheet, which is very, very durable. It has thin shoulder straps, but they're well padded, and everything's fully adjustable on this pack. So once you get it adjusted to your body, it worked fantastic. On the outside of the pack here, up front, I just have, on a paracord lanyard here, I just have a REI temperature thermometer with a little compass, and then a whistle. The nice thing, the reason I put it on this little paracord here, is that I can pull this off and I can hang it on the ridge line in my hammock so that I can tell the temperature and obviously have a signal whistle if I were to need it. But while I'm hiking, I just keep it just cow hitched right to the one of the D-rings on my strap there, so it's easily accessible for me as well. On this side here, I have my Skax 2L. I've reviewed that before. Great axe. And then I have my LT Wright GNS and ferro rod on a lanyard. So generally I'll either keep the ferro rod in here, or if I take it off, I can quickly throw it around my neck so that I am sure not to lose it. Generally I'll just carry that on my belt with the stopper gear belt. So that's it for this side. There's an additional zip here, but I don't use it, but it has nice deep pockets here for storing things like that. On the other side here, I have a Smart Water. Now I really like these Smart Waters. The plastic they use is really durable. So I took 2 of these, and I actually took a vitamin water as well. I knew I was going to be able to boil snow and things like that, so these were basically just for the hike and so that I didn't have to boil snow. And then I just have a basic Harbor Freight $2 utility tarp for laying on the ground, laying things on, covering wood and things like that. Very nice thing to have, and weighs nothing, easily added to any pack. All right, and then on the front here, the only 2 things that I have attached that are not in the bag is one of my sleeping bags. I took 2 sleeping bags with me because I knew the temperatures were going to be cold. This is the Special Forces 1 bag from Snug Pack. This is part of their modular sleep system, real similar to a military MSS, but lighter in weight. So this is the lighter weight bag. And then on the bottom I had a new piece of gear that I was testing out here. This is the Hennessy Hammock Super Shelter for my, my hammock. It's basically just a tarp that goes underneath the hammock, and there's a foam pad in here and then a space blanket, and that reflects the heat up without compressing down your insulation. And then I actually put this Special Forces 1 bag in there as well, just to give me some added non-compressed insulation. So we can go into what is in the lid. In here I just have a pack towel, very handy for if you get wet. You could use it as, you know, a wrap it around your neck or something like that if you got cold, but very small, lightweight, great thing to have camping, backpacking, or hiking. I had a waterproof map of the area that I was going to be in, and then I just took a book I wanted to finish up on this trip. Also up top I had this little toiletry bag. I'll go into the details on that in a moment. And then there's a zippered compartment in the back here. First aid kit. Very important to have that readily accessible, so made sure that that was in the lid. Some wilderness wipes, again, way to stay clean when you're in the woods. A compass. And then a black diamond headlamp that I was testing out. Alright, so let's go into the contents of the pack here. I'll unsnap the top lid. Now another nice thing about this bag is that it just has straps everywhere, so I can totally roll down the top here, compress everything down, and then strap it down into place. As you can see, this pack keeps everything nice and clean and organized, and I really like that. Alright, so starting with what's up top, the thing that I'm going to use first when I get to camp is set up my hammock. So this is the Hennessy hammock that goes with the Super Shelter. Then I have some of these Kafaru lightweight pullouts, and I will go into what's in those in a moment. I have another one here. This is my food bag. Then I have my extra clothing bag. It's in a Snug Pack dry bag. Important that you keep your clothing dry. Then I have a sleeping bag liner, a pillow, a bivvy, and then in the bottom of the pack here I have the Special Forces 2 bag. Alright, so everything right here was what I was wearing on my body, and then everything from that point over is in the pack. So we have my sleep system here with the 2 sleeping bags. I could combine those if I wanted, if I needed the extra warmth, but I used the smaller bag in the Hennessy Super Shelter. I got the Super Shelter here, my hammock, the tarp, and then up top here I have a sleeping bag liner. This I put in the Special Forces 2 bag for a little bit added warmth, and then I put the Special Forces bivvy on the top. I didn't get any condensation, but if I had, this would have kept me nice and dry in my sleeping bag. And then I had just this small little multi-mat pillow. A little bit of comfort goes a long way. It weighs nothing, and I had the room for it. So then I had my clothes here. Let's take a look in this dry bag at what additional clothes I had. I just had a black diamond balaclava. Didn't end up needing it, but it would have worked great if it had been a little bit colder. I just had some of these Mountain Hardwear, just lightweight gloves. Great for maintaining dexterity and if I needed some extra warmth, in addition to the wool ones. But like I said, my fingers are pretty acclimated to the cold, so I didn't need those. An extra pair of ex officio boxers. Then I had 2 extra pairs of socks, a mid-weight, again wigwam, and then a heavyweight. These are what I ended up sleeping in, the heaviest wigwam socks, and I didn't want to wear those hiking in because I knew my feet would probably get pretty warm. And then I just had a little smart wool beanie. Again, didn't end up needing that because I had the wool hat, which kept me nice and warm. And then just some of these polyester long underwear, a top and a bottom. These are mid-weight, I think, made by Terramar. So this is actually what I ended up sleeping in, just this top, this bottom, and then the warm socks. So that was basically my sleep system down to 20 degrees inside the bag, the liner, and the bivvy, and I was plenty warm. So in addition to what I had in the top lid, the first aid and book and map and things like that, headlamp and compass, things that I wanted easy access to. I had a few extra energy bars in there, and then I had this little REI toiletry kit. I've had this for quite a while. Basically just has a few band-aids in the outside, some pain reliever, got some lotion. I like carrying lotion because my hands tend to get really dry and cracked in the wintertime, so nice to put some of that on at night. Then I had a couple of these Scope toothbrushes. It beats carrying a full-size toothbrush, some lip balm, some Gold Bond, definitely got to have that, and then some eye drops and dental floss. So what's left is these pullouts, these 4 pullouts from Kifaru. Now these are their ultralight pullouts. They do make them in 500D as well, but these are really lightweight way to organize your gear. You can see that everything's really organized into different pouches and things like that. That way I know where everything is. I'm not dropping things into the bottom of my pack and not searching around for things when I need them most. It's important too to know how to pack your bag. I put my sleep system on the bottom, liners and bivvies and cookware and everything like that in the middle, and then my hammock up top, because I knew the order that I'd be pulling things out. And then in the top lid, obviously, again, you want your easily accessible items. So in these pullouts, I have, in this one here, I have my cook kit. So I brought my heavy cover, canteen, and cup. I really didn't need the canteen, but if I did need to boil some water, I can boil water right in this at the same time that I'm boiling water in this. So it beats bringing a big pot, and I do have a way to fairly quickly boil up some additional water. Got the lid here, so the heavy cover. Then I just have this little microfiber towel. It's basically like a washcloth. Very handy for wiping off your dishes, or just wiping your hands and things like that when you're cooking, so I find that really handy. A titanium spork. I have this titanium plate from Tokes. Yeah, I can use this obviously as a plate to eat, but I can also use it to make bacon or steak or anything like that that I need to cook. And then I have my long spoon from Sea to Summit. This works great with the backpackers dehydrated type meals because it's long and you can get down in there and stir and eat right from the bag. So that's it for what was in my cook kit bag. All right, the larger bag here is my food. Now I was only going for an overnight, so I packed just a few backpackers pantry meals to try out. I got a chicken one, a beans and rice, and a granola for the morning. Now I repacked this just to show you because I ate the other ones, but this is basically what I took with me. And then I just have a bunch of tea in here, some hot chocolate, and then some oatmeal. Just some really easy trail food type things. I could also put some energy bars. I put a couple Reese's peanut butter cups in there as well. And I knew it was going to be cold, otherwise you wouldn't want to put them in there because they would melt. But so that's what I have in my food bag. Alright, next is sort of my possibles pouch. Basically this is just like a utility pouch. Again, it's another pull-out. I have a bunch of different hanks of paracord in there. I have a little bit of Vaseline. I can use that for fire starter. I have some of these Night Eyes bungees, great for securing things to your pack or for tying down tarps and things like that. I have a couple of carabiners in here. Again, great for just utility type stuff, hanging things from your ridge line, hanging a bear bag, for example. And then I have just this little Altoids tin. This is sort of just my little repair kit. Up top here, I just have some Gorilla Tape. And then I have a bunch of different little things in here, some clips, some zip ties, some Gorilla Glue, some Crazy Glue, some thread, some sewing needles, paper clips, just basically just like a catch-all for little repair items. I think I have some seam sealer in there. So basically just have a way to make repairs on the fly in this little Altoids kit. Alright, and the last pull out here I have is just my little fire kit. In here I have some little stormproof matches, some wet fires, a lighter, and also have a little knife sharpener here to maintain the edge on my tools. So, you know, that's basically a backup fire kit for me. I have the lighter, which I carry in my pocket. I could use this with the Vaseline, with the chapstick that I carry, but there's lots of birch bark out there, so I ended up using that. And I always go for the natural tinders first, but it's nice to have a backup way to start fire, multiple ways to start fire. And that way I have a lighter here, a lighter in my pocket, and don't have everything all in one spot. So that's my little fire kit. Now this was just an overnighter. I knew the depth of the snow was only around a foot, and I'd be walking on packed trails, and I wouldn't be walking that far. So I didn't bring my snowshoes or my trekking poles, but if the snow had been deeper, or if I was gonna hike longer distances, these would have definitely been included in my kit. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed taking a look at that video today of the gear that I took along with me on this overnight. Now it might seem overwhelming and it might seem that I have a lot of good gear, but this is years and years of evolution. My motto on the channel is prepare, adapt, survive. So first you prepare, you just get something, anything, go out there and test with it, adapt, and then finally survive. So again, years and years of evolution of gear, and this is what I took this time. My goal was to stay as light as possible, but still be warm in 20 or so Fahrenheit temperatures. Now again, if I was going any colder, I'd bring more clothing, but with this system, it's pretty easily adaptable for me. I'm going to be going on another camp out later this month with deeper snow, so I will be taking the trekking poles and the snowshoes. I'm also going to take the teepee and stove on that trip, so I'll exchange the hammock and super shelter and heavier bags and things like that for the teepee and the stove, and I could still probably use that pack, but I have another pack to show you guys from Teton Sports, so look forward to that in the near future. It was a very successful trip. I was nice and toasty all night long in the setup that I had. Again, I didn't film a whole lot of it just because it was sort of a vacation for me. I wanted to enjoy it, and sometimes filming every step of the way gets in the way, so I wanted to have some time just to relax and also be able to test out some gear. So I'll have a few reviews, the headlamp and possibly the super shelter, as well as some mods that I've done to my Hennessy hammock. I'll probably put those in future videos if you guys would like to see that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a big thumbs up for me. Make sure you leave me some comments below. Share this video to anybody who might be interested in winter backpacking, camping, or hiking. You can also check out my social media and follow me on things like Facebook and Google Plus by looking in the description. Click the show more button and all of that stuff will show up, especially if you are on mobile. If you haven't done so already, guys, please take a moment to click that red subscribe button and subscribe for more great videos.